Thanks for bringing me in. Hello, everybody. You know, I don't need to be the one to tell you that stress is all around us, that this has been some of the most stressful last 14, 16 months that I think most of us have ever run into in our lives. It is a constant thing. Stress is around us, change is around us. And what I want to suggest to you is that we can learn to adapt faster if we do two things. If you learn to insulate yourself against the stress, and number two, if you learn to act and not react to the situational stress that's all around us. So the first part about insulation, when COVID-19 hit and I was no longer able to travel, one of the first things I did was I partnered with Portland Productions. John, my production manager here, a full studio, professional lighting, professional sound, and someone who's been doing this for 20 years that can take care of problems when they happen in an instant, in order for me to be able to provide a higher level of services to my customers, since I'm not going to be out there being able to travel to see them. So the first thing we do, we insulate ourselves. We find ways of not putting ourselves into stressful situations. Just before COVID-19 hit, I was in Denver, Colorado, was headed to an event in Iowa, and on my way out to the airport, and we get to pull out, it's about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and this cab driver is hitting his hands on the dash and yelling, and it's like, traffic, you know, and I said, what's the matter? And he said, traffic, you know, and I said, sir, how long have you been a cab driver? And he said, 30 years. How long in Denver? 30 years. So I don't know how to tell you this, but you know, it's going to happen again tomorrow. And it's going to happen every day after this. If you can't deal with traffic, you probably shouldn't be a taxi driver running a route that includes rush hour traffic. You choose not to do that, you change your hours. Insulating is also about understanding the stress that's around us and understanding that we all smile and laugh in the same language. It unites us, it creates a common bond when nothing else will work. And it's not about telling jokes. I don't want you to think you need to tell jokes, because some of you not only cannot tell a joke to save your life, but we also don't want to be diminishing anyone. We don't want to use humor to diminish anyone. We want to use it to enhance, and we want to be able to have more fun. In fact, I'd like you to think about humor response, or humor as a response to situational stress. And it starts very simply. When something stressful happens, some little thing happens, like when I was on my way to the studio today, I hit almost every red light along the way. It just seemed like every light I came to, it was red. And after about 6 of them, you know, you subconsciously almost get stressed out. And I stopped and started saying, you know, I bet the next light will be red, and the next one. And I started playing a game with myself, having fun, looking forward to catching the red lights. It's not going to make me mad. I know I'm going to encounter red lights, and I left in enough time so that I'm not late arriving here. Do you see what I mean? We insulate ourselves, we use humor. But when little things happen, here's what I want you to do. When something stressful happens, I want you to put your hand right here, say the word bummer, and do this. Everybody try that. Ready? Bummer, do this. One more time. Ready? Bummer, and do this. Let it go. Take those little things and let them go. When something good happens, celebrate that moment. Celebrate that moment. I don't care how small an accomplishment it is, by doing this. Woohoo! Try that. Woohoo! Celebrate the moment. Perfect. You don't want to let the stress stack one on top of another until you get such a load that you can't even tell people what's stressing you out anymore. And you don't want to let the opportunity to celebrate the fun things, you don't want to let that go. You want to be able to have fun. And the humor options that we have are many and varied, but there's mainly 2 types. There are visual humor items, and then there's storytelling. There's the ability to talk to people and connect with people with storytelling using humor. So visual, let's talk about visual first. I got married 4 years ago. I got married rather late in life, and my wife and I were traveling to an event actually in Phoenix. And my wife, Sophia, likes spa days. I don't like spas. She likes spas. I love Sophia. So I booked an extra spa day at this very famous resort. And I didn't know it, but when I booked the extra day after the event, I also got rebooked for the price. So the rooms were $150 a night. When I rebooked the spa day, the price went up to $250 a night. And that's a what? That's a bummer. It's a bummer. When we checked in, the lady told me what happened. She said, sir, I'm really sorry. There's nothing I can do about it. That's the new price. And I said, well, there's got to be something we can do. And I reached in my pocket. I always travel with these little things. I carry these little itty bitty chickens. And John, if you can show them here, these little itty bitty chickens here. I carry these with me in my pocket wherever I go. I don't know why they're funny, but they are. And I have them with me wherever I go. And I went to give her, I was actually going to just give her some of the chickens and see if I couldn't connect. And I reached in my pocket and she goes, "Sir, you can't bribe me." I think she thought I was going to give her money. And I said, "Before you say anything else, you might want to see what I have." And I just kind of slid the chickens really slowly across the table. And she goes, "You can't bribe me." And I turned my hand over and she saw those little itty bitty chickens and she wanted them really badly. And she goes, I don't. And she ended up, I said, "Now, before you say anything else, let me sweeten the pot just a little bit more." And I put one more chicken in her hand. I ended up getting the room for $80 a night, all because it was actually their employee rate, all because of little itty bitty chickens. And I came down the next day, she was wearing them like earrings. So I gave her a couple more. Now, I didn't bribe her. I connected with her. I found a way that we could laugh together. And in that connection, she was able to work with me and come up with a solution. These are humor connectors. And we don't want to use them again negatively. I don't want to put anybody down. I want to be able to find ways of dealing with the stress, and these things work. I'll give you another one. These cell phones have changed our planet forever. They are incredibly stressful. This one is from 1995. I actually like to put it in my pocket, and I go into Best Buy and I'll walk up the counter with all their phones and they'll go, "Can I help you?" And I'll take this out and I go, "Yeah, I'm looking for a new phone, that new iPhone 6. And they'll say, "What do you have?" And I go, "Well, it's analog." And they just about faint. But these cell phones are incredibly stressful because people talk really loud on their wireless devices. And if you've ever been at the airport, you see people walking around talking to themselves on their Bluetooth devices. I was at Dallas Fort Worth Airport and I'm just sitting there minding my own business. I'm reading my book and I can hear this guy walking around talking to himself on his cell phone. And he's going, "Yeah, I don't think we can ship that order by Tuesday." "No." "Yeah." "Not by, no." "Yeah." And he's walking towards me. He's getting incrementally Doppler radar louder. "Yeah, I don't think we can ship that order by Tuesday." Now there's 10 seats either way around me, 10 seats in front, behind. I have all this room around me and he sits right next to me. Not 2 seats down, literally right next to me. And he goes, "Yeah, I don't think we can ship that order by Tuesday." Now I'm not angry. I'm fascinated. I can't believe he doesn't notice there's another human being in his proximity. And I thought, say that one more time. Say that one more time. And he goes, "I don't think we can ship that order by Tuesday." And I said, "I need that order by Tuesday. You told me you'd ship that order by Tuesday. You better ship that order by Tuesday." And it's if I appeared out of thin air. He just rears back like this and he goes, "Sir, I'm not talking to you." Well, the guy on the cell phone thinks he's still talking to him and he goes, "No, I'm talking to you." I said, "I'm talking to you. You better ship that article. You better ship that article by Tuesday or I'll be after you." And he starts picking his stuff up and I'm going, "Don't you walk away from me. I will find you by Tuesday." Then I went and changed chairs before the police came. Every time I hear somebody talking loudly on their cell phone or with their Bluetooth device, I don't get angry. I laugh about it. I actually anticipate that. And I know for a fact it's going to happen. I anticipate the humor. So rule number one is have fun. Say it with me. Have fun. Say it again. Have fun. We want to be able to take the things we do and have fun with them. That when little stressors happen, instead of letting that, anticipating the stress and getting all angry about it, we have fun. This was my very first business card. This is a picture of my pride and joy. Now, you give your business card to people. This is Henny Youngman's business card. I didn't invent this, but I would put my name and address on the back and people wanted to keep my business card. And I thought, if this worked, then something else will work even better. I don't have children. This is a picture of my kids. 2 baby billy goats are in fact kids. People wanted those too. So I went one step further. When I check into a hotel, they always say the same thing. "What's your name? Do you have a reservation? Do you have a major credit card?" On the front of this, it says, "This is a major credit card." That's actually my phone number, 1-800-865-9939. On the back of it, it says some other form of identification. It's got my website there. And I'll walk up and they'll say, "Do you have a major credit card?" And I'll show them this and they'll say, "Do you have some other form of identification?" And I turn the card over and I guarantee you they laugh almost every time. One of the first times I went to use it, I go to check in a hotel. "Hi, Tim Gard, checking in. What's your name?" "Still Tim Gard." "Do you have a reservation?" "Yes, I do." He said, "Sir, do you have a major credit card?" And I said, "I got one. I was hoping you'd ask because I got one." And he takes the card and he looks at it and he doesn't know what to do. Now it's 1 o'clock in the morning. He's been trained that if you don't know what to do, you ask for help. And he's like showing it to people that aren't there, you know? And he said, "Sir, I don't know what to do." And I said, "If it was me, just me, if it was me, I would ask for some other form of identification." And he said, "Do you have some other form of identification?" Woo! And I show it to him and he looks at it and he laughs. In that laughter, and then I gave it to him. In that laughter, we connected. But here's the thing with this. This is my business card. That's my phone number. I sell these on my website for $1. My customers buy my business card for $1 so they can show it to other people. That's good marketing. That is using humor as a skill. So rule number 1 is have fun. Say it again, have fun. Rule number 2 is do it for yourself. Say for myself, for myself. Find the things that irritate you, turn it around using humor. When I check in, I never forget, every time I get on the airplane, I go to put my bag in the overhead, and you always put your bag in wheels first, you know, and if it didn't fit, I'd have to move my bag sideways, and then people would come behind me to see if they could get their bag in, and they would move my bag back around like this, and then the bin wouldn't close. So I put chicken feet in my bag. I'm probably the only person that has rubber chickens sticking out of their bag. I can spot this thing a mile away, but it solved the problem. You know, I go to put the bag in, it doesn't fit. You put it in sideways like this. And I've actually watched people grab the bag, go to move it, see the rubber chickens, and just put it back. Problem solved. And the bonus to us is this. You know, at the airport in Denver National Airport, the young man says, "Sir, may I look in your bag?" "Certainly, look in my bag." You know, you don't have any options. He reaches in, TSA guy reaches in, takes the rubber chicken out. He's not even surprised it's a whole rubber chicken. You know, he takes the rubber chicken out and he examines it, you know, and he starts to frisk it, you know, and he's very thoroughly. And he gets right about here and he flips it like he's done it 100 times. And I have tears coming down my face. And he goes right down to the toenails and goes, "It's clear." I don't even know the proper response to that. But when I go through TSA, I go through there expecting to laugh. I don't expect to be angry. I've also had other people take my bag by mistake at the carousel. It'll never happen again. I had this sign put on the bag that says, "This is not your bag." Many bags look alike. This isn't your bag because this bag belongs to Tim Gard. Do you think this works every time? No. It's going around the turnstile in Seattle, gets within about 15 feet of me on the carousel. Young man looks at the sign, reads it, laughs, and grabs the handle. And I said, "Come on." And he goes, "That looks just like my bag except for the sign." Take it anyway. You know, the thing is, all these things are out there. All the things that are going to cause you stress are out there. And it works no matter what you do for a living. You know, I used to be in human services. I was a welfare caseworker. I was the person that people came in and applied for welfare benefits. One of the hardest jobs I've ever had in my life. And if I made mistakes, people would go hungry. Incredibly pressure-filled job. I wanted to be my best. And I found people burned out all around me. But if I was able to laugh at myself, never laughing at people, but able to laugh at myself. And as C.W. Metcalf says, laugh not with ridicule, but with objectivity and acceptance of self, then I could deal with the stress in a better manner. I was also a fraud investigator. I got to go out and investigate the very same people I'd given benefits to. And again, incredibly stressful, stress-filled job. But I found that the more that I concentrated on laughing at myself, the better I was able to handle the stress. The last part of it is in sharing it. So have fun, use humor for yourself. And the third part is share it. Say it, share it. Share the humor with people. Let them share in the laughter. You know, meetings have taken on a whole different line of stress here in this new age that we live in. I used to hate to go to meetings. I think everybody did, but Zoom meetings can be even more brutal. Also, when we're working at home, people don't always know when our family doesn't know when we need to be left alone to work. These are called "don't bug me" glasses. If you work at home like I do, you can put these on when you need to be left alone. Your family will leave you alone, I guarantee it. It works almost every time, and it does it in a very positive manner. All the things that bothered you before COVID-19 are still there. You know, they were right. Some of the speakers ahead of me, they're right. All those problems are going to be there when you come back. You know, the irritating people we work with or for, the toxic people that are around us. You know, I had a boss one time that used to walk out every single day. The first thing he'd say is he'd walk out and he goes, everybody's head screwed on tight today. He'd walk out, hey, head screwed on tight today. Good to see you. Head screwed on tight. Good to see you. So I got one of these and he walks up and he goes, morning, Gard, head screwed on tight today. And I did this. Close one, sir. Good thing you were here. This is just a watch winder. And I got one of these for everybody in the office, and it turned a bummer into a woohoo. One of the best things I have, though, for sharing humor is my policy manual. You know, I'm a big believer. People, don't tell people, give them a shot of the cover of that, John. Tell people what you can do. Tell them what you can't do. Don't tell them what your policy is. This is my policy manual. I think everybody should have one of these. They're just about the size of a passport. On the back of it, where my picture is, you can actually put your picture over my picture, and it just says me. So it makes it look like it really is something that you wrote and published. But this policy manual has been the funnest thing. I mean, I know I can't wait to get on the road again to use this, but one of the first times I used it, I go to check into a hotel, young man behind the counter, this is in Australia. He looks at me, we go through the whole thing, name, major credit card. He looks at me and goes, sir, all we have left are smoking rooms. And I said to him, I don't have any cigarettes. I can't really help you with that. And he goes, you don't have to smoke. I said, no, RJ Reynolds 16.2 clearly states, and I thought I'd get him laughing, couldn't do it. I said, do you have any non-smoking suites available? Yes, we do, but they're $150 more per night. Now, I know I can't pass that cost on to my customer, so I said, can you upgrade me to a non-smoking suite at no additional cost since you gave away my non-smoking room? And they said, no, our policy is we don't upgrade based on smoking preference. So open up my policy manual here, and I read hotel reservations. If I request to reserve a non-smoking room at any hotel in that property, then gives my non-smoking room away to another guest prior to my arrival, then said hotel is required by law to upgrade me to a non-smoking suite at no additional cost to me, no exceptions. And I handed it to the clerk, and he reads it and shows the other clerk and goes, it's right there. He's not making that up. The clerk looks at me and says, you need to talk to the manager. And I heard this one too many times. So open up my policy manual to page 14, and I read, once I verbalize my policy to any employee at any level, I'm then forbidden by policy to repeat said policy verbally in writing to anyone else, no exceptions. They put me in the presidential suite that night, the non-smoking presidential suite, all because of my policy manual. And what I did was I connected with them with humor. I know when COVID-19 lets up, I'm going to be traveling again. All of the little stressors are out there on the airplanes, the rental cars, in the hotel rooms. It's all out there. I'm ready. You know, I think get your shots, get immunized against COVID-19, be healthy, wear a mask, do all of those things, but add a dose of humor to help yourself be able to deal with the stress all around you. A dose of what I call a comic vision. Learn to see the world differently. Raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name, promise to use my comic vision every day. I'll have fun. I'll use it for myself, and I'll share it. Hi, sign. Thanks for sharing it with me today. I hope you'll give Carol a call, invite me in to either virtually present at your next event or be able to come out in person and see you. And remember, laughter becomes you.